All right, let's get you back out to that breaking news. This is the kind we love to give you. This is on Wallops Island, Virginia. The sky is about to get lit up. This is a live look at an orbital sciences rocket that is about to blast off. Last I heard, it was less than a minute and counting.
Yeah, this thing is set to deliver more than 5,000 pounds of cargo to the International Space Station. And really, you couldn't have asked for better weather there. It's pretty nice here as well if this were happening here at the Kennedy Space Center.
Now,
like the stick easy here. I don't know how much cloud cover they have, but they're not stopping for weather. That's not what stopped them last night.
Yeah, it was a boat that was out. You can see how it's so close to the beach there. Now, last night this thing was supposed to take off. Weather was great for it. But there was a sailboat that had creeped into the area that could, be hazardous for boats. So they couldn't communicate with the thing, couldn't get it out of the way. So they have delayed it to this evening.
Which, by the way, now has its own Twitter account, just in case you wanted to.
At Wayward Boat Ping, if you want to follow that thing on Twitter.
I'm all over it. I want to ride in that thing.
It probably has more followers than a lot of people at this point.
All right, so I think we're about 20 seconds away from blast off. Let's listen in, and I hope we did not just lose the shot.
I think so, the audience.
I think, there it is.
4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff of Antares, the work 3 missions that brings Cygnus on its 3rd CRS mission to the ISS. Got main engines at 108%.
Avionics power nominal.
All right, so let's take a look. Again, this is, wow, incredible live pictures. You are seeing this happen. This is Wallops Island, Virginia here, where a rocket just blasted off live and exploded in midair as it started to take off. A large part of the East Coast could see this happen.
Maintain positions at your console.
Now you can see the smoke and the damage on the ground as what happened on this rocket. This is why they keep a very large area clear. As we just said on Monday, they canceled a launch because a boat was in the area.
Absolutely. And, of course, we're watching all of this develop live right before our eyes. So at this point, we know nothing other than what we are seeing on the air right now, a massive explosion. Again, this rocket was supposed to be taking some cargo to the International Space Station. It was supposed to be carrying 5,000 pounds of cargo. As we've been mentioning, the liftoff was postponed yesterday because of a wayward boat. And now, of course, this has all just happened, this tragedy really happening in the past few minutes.
Yeah, and we have seen so many rocket launches go off without a hitch on our coast. Again, this is in Virginia, but you can see those flames, and all that rocket fuel is still burning at the moment. And people can see this.
Now standing by for updates and information from the launch control out there at Wallops.
And you can even hear from Mission Control there. Scientists just scrambling
information as
to
it comes
try to
available.
figure out what happened here.
Hoping that, of course, that no one has been injured in this.
Absolutely. Again, it was a cargo rocket headed up to the ISS, and at this closer view here, you can see what a volatile situation this is right now up in Virginia. My producers are getting this video ready to show you the actual launch again. We're going to show that to you in just a few seconds, but you can see that thing just burning right there as it headed up. It really did not get that far up into the air before.
We're talking a matter of seconds, less than 10 seconds. You can see it's still burning there on the ground. But we were seeing, you could see this is right along the coastline. So,
right
hopefully this happened over the water, and
if you're just joining us,
we're not seeing as much of this, hopefully, on land.
Okay, so let's take a look at this replay here. My producer's telling me it's ready. You can see this rocket is headed up, and then something just goes wrong with this thing. Right about there, you start seeing there are some real issues happening, and it starts coming down the same way it came up, and then just there's a fireball right here. Just a huge explosion. You can see things actually shooting off.
Yeah, and I'm trying to log on to spaceflightnow.com, which tracks a lot of this and could give us some information about what exactly happened, but it has basically been shut down. I'm getting an error message saying the site could be temporarily unavailable or too busy, and telling us to try again in a few minutes. So that is where we typically get a lot of information from these launches, and again, that site apparently just being flooded right now, and we're not able to log on at the moment. Also checking the Associated Press wire as well as CNN, not getting any updates at this point from either of those two sources as well.
Okay, so you can see we're back to live pictures now, and it's just kind of glowing, and there's sort of a haze on the left side of your screen of that smoke there that's coming out, and just right now these scientists are just scrambling to try to figure out what happened.
And Tom, we know that weather was looking great for this launch.
Pretty good, yeah. I mean, you can tell by the way the smoke is kind of just sort of lingering, hanging around. Yeah. It is not super windy. This was not a weather event at all. Temperature reading up there was about 78 degrees right before the launch, and so they're talking about a mild enough condition, a warm day on the East Coast. Weren't concerned about cloud cover, and really, you saw it as they launched it. It was nowhere near getting off the ground before it exploded. It got a little bit up in the air and just popped. So I'm not sure why it failed, but it had zero to do with the weather or conditions. Had nothing to do with it. No lightning strikes out of the blue, which we know can happen. No trigger lightning. This was absolutely some sort of catastrophic failure that had zero to do with the weather.
And it happened pretty quickly. Let's take one more look at this liftoff. As we watched it live, we've seen these happen in our backyard so many times and just go off just fine. But this one in Virginia, watch as it starts to go up.
Got main engines at 108%.
And then right here.
About 12 seconds in.
Yeah.
It was about 12 seconds into the launch that suddenly it failed miserably.
Wow. Unbelievable pictures from Wallops Island, Virginia tonight. So hopefully everyone in this area is okay. Now, you remember Monday, it kind of became a joke on Twitter that there was a sailboat out into the ocean. And just thinking about that at this moment, they canceled the launch last night, even though everything else was perfect. They got that sailboat out of the way, cleared it for this evening. They actually have planes that circle around looking for any other planes or boats that might be in that hazard area. This is why they take it so seriously.
Right.
If something like this happens, you know, it can send things for a very big in directions everywhere. So they try to clear out that area, and hopefully they did it well today.
And I'm now looking at the Twitter feed from Spaceflight Now, and as you can see on their Twitter feed, it just says Antares explodes moments after launch, and no other updates at this point from Spaceflight Now. And that is really the best source for space news, as it says itself, from Cape Canaveral, Florida. So we're trying to get some more information to see what exactly may have caused this. But again, the Antares rocket on a resupply flight to the International Space Station carrying 5,000 pounds of cargo suddenly explodes roughly 10 to 12 seconds after liftoff tonight.
Yeah, and one thing we haven't talked about, again, Lisa just mentioned it, 5,000 pounds of cargo, and those guys on the ISS need that cargo. These were pretty critical supplies that they're waiting on, and now that's not going to be able to get up there to the ISS. Obviously, the big worry right now for these NASA scientists is what happened and making sure everybody is okay around this site. Let's take a look at this replay, and we're going to listen in to what what the control room was saying as well.
Antares for 3 missions that bring Cygnus on its 3rd CRS mission to the ISS. Got main engines at 108%.
Avionics power nominal.
And launch team, be advised, stay at your consoles. Everyone in the LCC, maintain your positions in your consoles. In the LCC, maintain positions at your console.
Okay, back to live pictures now. You can see those flames are still glowing up the night sky out there in Wallops Island, Virginia. Again, I want to restate, this was an unmanned rocket headed up to the International Space Station, was carrying cargo up there to the ISS.
And NASA's Wallops Flight Facility has not released any information at this point as to what may have caused this explosion. Again, we want to reiterate, though, this was a unmanned rocket that was carrying supplies to the International Space Station. Of course, some much-needed supplies. This exploded roughly 10 to 12 seconds after liftoff. Again, it was supposed to go up yesterday, but was delayed due to a wayward boat. So hopefully we will get some more information within the next half an hour. And, of course, we will bring it to you as soon as possible. We're continuing to monitor these live pictures, though, and you can see just all of that debris still on fire right now.
Yeah, a lot of flames right there on the beach. What started out as such a gorgeous setting tonight really just went disastrous. And like Lisa said, 10 to 12 seconds. We are going to be following this constantly on clickorlando.com this evening. We'll have updates for you at 11. And we have gone a little late on our newscast. We're going to join the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley in progress. But as we continue to get new live pictures in here, take a look all up the coastline there. You can see just embers and flames from that explosion of this rocket.
At the launch pad.
And of course, we will continue to follow this throughout the night, and we will have much more at clickorlando.com. We want to join the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley right now.
Contingency procedures, gathering all necessary data.